Hello everybody, this is Simon with the final episode of Let's Play Donkey Kong Land. Home stretch. Let's start it off with this world's worst level. It recycles a gimmick that wasn't the very best in Donkey Kong Country to start with, and a lot of problems summed up by Game Boy. The camera in many parts just doesn't catch up and do what you want it to do, which I've just demonstrated, so we're going to say fuck it to the bonuses up there. It's not like we really needed them anyway. So in general, there are situations like this one here, where it's obviously designed so that you can just hit the naughty, but if you jump from the hogwash, then you will die. It has happened to me more than once, and it's pretty consistent. The Game Boy camera just will not follow you down fast enough and assume you fall into a pit, even though there is definitely solid ground down there. There are many more situations like this where it's just not up to par, and it shows that this level here in general is pretty shoddily designed. Not even just the camera, but it is a big problem, but also stuff like this jump here being an absolute bitch, even if you don't get hit by the zinger. Haha, thanks for that life. Also, those snakes here weren't particularly great in the ship levels where they first appeared, and they are not here too, because they make you wait, which is never good, and which this game usually avoids. By the way, bananas down here, not that you'd ever want to get them, because as said, you don't really need the bonuses, you're swimming in lives. Yeah, the snakes, they can come kind of out of nowhere, and especially in this level with the camera problems, and aren't that great of an idea to start with, so I don't really know. And in general, since you can just go against the flow of the ropes, you can completely skip the obviously meant as hard zinger section down there, and the bonus was spectacularly not hidden, so this feels pretty tacked on. For example, this barrel here it's an absolute trap. If you hold to the right, you will get hit by the zinger no matter what. And it's not like you couldn't make that jump normally. Or maybe you just could not, and they said instead of making the platform longer, they put in a barrel. Don't know. And I really couldn't see that rope coming down again. This is just not too great of a gimmick. And the spawning is completely inconsistent of them too. But anyway, it's over now, and the last two levels in this world, the last two proper levels, are really fun. So I'm not overly complaining, and I mean, we've seen far more atrocious levels. This was just not good, but it's not horrible either. It's just, well, I can deal with it, and anyone playing it should be able to do so too. The level name isn't great, but the music is great, and I think it's got a really nice gimmick, and of course really good flow, which I've always have valued, in case you haven't noticed yet. So, yeah, apart from jumping from enemy to enemy, the gimmick of this here is completely new again, and you just have to hit the button and the barrel will turn. This could be very annoying and boring, but most of the time it's just two presses or even one, which is mostly done for you by the level flow. This one here is cute because the normal barrel is actually the bonus barrel, if you just turn it the right way. I think it's a nice and clever idea. I love touches like this one. And yeah, I didn't miss that bonus either. A quick succession of bonuses, because this level here is really, really short. And it's also not particularly hard in any way, in my opinion. And as I said, this game's difficulty curve again and again, derp says the naughty, is just not something really comparable to other games in the series, which really went balls out hard in the end. Especially those last two levels show, and of course I look at this one here, that they didn't really have a firm grasp on the concept of what is really difficult, and it's also not a very atmospheric climax, because I mean, you're in this city and we're going to visit a really good level, but it's just another skyscraper level, which is fine and all, but compared to Toxic Tower, for example, this is just a completely different league. But enough on that, more talk about the level, and this is a great level. It serves as a nice retrospective of some gimmicks we've seen before, and also as a nice commentary on the game as a whole, because it is one of the best levels in the game, just because it embraces flow with a passion. You have never ever any any incentive to stop in this level, and even if you fuck it up, here the camera works in your favor at all. It always is really fair, and it has moments like this one where you can just skip platforms by jumping on enemies, and it's just a barrel of fun. The original gimmick, the oil drums that go on and off, and whoopsie daisy, that was a close one, are also really nicely timed in that if you always keep your move on, you never ever have to wait, which is just what I always have valued, as I said. So, spot the bonus one last time. Do you see it? It's here. And this is pretty infuriating. I must have spent upwards of an hour in this level just searching for the last bonus that I had to get, and it is here. It is a pretty nice reward though. An interesting retrospective on underwater enemies, and then the extra lives come floating in. In general, the bonuses in this game here are not really that hard hidden. Compared to some in DKC and DKC2, it's absolutely no contest. Those are mostly hampered by the presentation, again. It's what the game suffers from most. But pretty fair. This one here is probably the most involved, and I just show off what you had to do if you couldn't kill the Crusher with Diddy. And it takes use of the TNT barrel destroying the oil drums, and gets us access to the last bonus in the game. Sadly, the third balloon despawned if you're not fast enough. But that's it! Completing the level will give us 98%. For some reason the final boss has 2%. Fuck you, Crusher. And we're done with secrets and on our road to 100%. Remember those ropes? Yeah, we've seen one before. More Crushers, more Donkey Supremacy. Don't take this arrow because you will have to move at full speed so that the timing on the barrels is right. And we've completed the penultimate level and the final real level in the game. As said, really fun, really nice retrospective of the game as a whole in my opinion. A few problems with the visual presentation, but overall really great gameplay, really nice flow and good music. So, off to kick K. Rool's butt. For some reason, we're in this atrocious background here, and the fight is almost completely the same as in Donkey Kong Country. He will throw his crown, you jump on his head, he will charge at you, let the rinse repeat. Of course there is a little twist to this, which is why I'm hiding out in the middle of the room, but you can also count if you want to, but I'm not a big of a fan of memorization, I prefer to have tells. So, if he doesn't decide to throw his crown, and instead charges at you a second time, which he's going to do in a few, he will have to be wary. Because I think as a nice, there we go, homage to what he did in Donkey Kong Country, he will change up his pattern all of a sudden, and surprise you by jumping. It will catch you by surprise, which is kind of a dick move the first time around, because, well, you definitely would not expect him to just plainly jump at you. That's all though, one hit and then you should be prepared. Then he repeats the same thing he did in the first phase, just faster. It's not really a problem. The boss is a total pushover, and in general the end of the game is horribly anticlimactic, which you're going to see more of in a few seconds, after I have beaten him. That was it! That was Donkey Kong Land. Some more final thoughts about the game. I got a little time. And yes, that is all we got for 100%. I think it's a very commendable effort if I haven't made that clear already. It improves in many ways upon the groundwork set by Donkey Kong Country. Especially in regards to level design, despite a few outliers like the atrocious cloud levels, I think it's a big improvement. There are very definite signs of them embracing the idea of constant movement being a good thing, not making you wait for stuff to fall into position, so this feels like a very natural bridge between the still shaky DKC and the absolutely sublime DKC2. It's of course very hampered by being on the Game Boy, make no mistake. The physics aren't up to par, which personally irks me the most, and the presentation, especially the far too ambitious backgrounds, take a lot getting used to. It's too bad, because gameplay-wise Donkey Kong Land is a gem, and the other half of the presentation, the music, is also gorgeous. Overall, I really recommend you play this for yourself, give it a chance and a few minutes to adjust. I was really impressed by what they managed to do and hope that I could convey that. This was Simon with Let's Play Donkey Kong Land. Thank you very much for your attention.